raiders, sardines, a constitution, the birthplace of California. Monterey isn't just a postcard, it's historic, it's peaceful, it's its own private paradise. And today I'm going to show you the side of it that you probably had no idea even existed. So how does a quiet coastal town become the birthplace of an entire state, survive pirates, collapse an entire industry, and somehow come out the other side more desirable than ever? I'm Jordan, this is Keys to Monterey, and today we're unlocking the untold story of California's very first capital, Monterey. Believe it or not, this gorgeous coastal town, which has been home to the likes of Betty White, Doris Day, Ansel Adams, Clint Eastwood, and maybe most notably John Steinbeck, used to be California's capital. In 1849, delegates gathered here at Colton Hall to draft California's very first state constitution, which made Monterey the political heart of California long before the gold rush put San Francisco on the map. It's crazy to think that over 170 years ago, people just like you and me made their lives here, but no Starbucks, no Teslas, maybe some more affordable home prices. Here's the wild part. None of this was inevitable. California almost entered the Union as multiple states. Hot issues of the time were being debated, and there were important things to both sides. So this very building that we're walking in right now decided whether or not California would exist as we know it today, or fracture before it ever even began. And now people come here for all sorts of reasons. Whether if it's to take awesome engagement photos at the beautiful location, go to the museum, or go on a field trip. So if you've ever parked your car here or walked your dog on this path and not thought twice, well, you've crossed the exact same ground where California's future was once argued. And speaking of California's birthplace, we're around the corner now at the Custom House next to Fisherman's Wharf. The Custom House is the oldest government building in the state of California, built in 1827. Picture this, it's November 1846. A small crowd gathers right where I'm standing. No grand speeches, no grand procession, just a single new flag being raised on this very pole right here. And in that moment, California becomes American land. Come on. Fast forward 180 years, Monterey is no longer the political heart of California. It's run on sardines. I mean, the bay is packed with them. They're absolutely everywhere. The factories never slept. Odds are your paycheck, your neighbor's paycheck, and your kid's future all revolved around what came out of the bay this very morning. But it was all fun and games until it wasn't. The entire system collapsed. Whether it was overfishing, bad luck, or a change in the ecosystem, it doesn't really matter what the perspective is. The result stays the same. There was no backup plan. These people had their jobs in the factories, and then it was gone. There was no tourism industry. Cannery Row isn't what it is today. Back then, it had to evolve into this. So today, Cannery Row smells a whole lot less like sardines and a whole lot more like garlic fries, tourists, and clam chowder. But you're standing in a place that survived economic freefall and somehow came out the other side way better than it was before. Looking back in time, Monterey wasn't always this gorgeous, picturesque, postcard-perfect town. It got smacked around more than once. In fact, real-life pirates showed up here. On November 20th, 1818, Argentine privateer Hippolyte Bouchard sailed into Monterey Bay and launched a full-on attack. Real-life cannons fired, the Presidio fell. For a short time, Monterey was literally captured by a foreign raiding force. This wasn't some distant battlefield either. This was the town itself under siege. So picture this for a second. There's ships right out there in the bay. There's cannon fire echoing off the hills and smoke pouring through the same places that people now casually stroll with coffee in hand. Residents at the time had no idea if they'd get their homes back or whether or not the town would even survive. And today, this very same stretch of waterfront that used to be under siege is now where tourists lined up to buy candy, including a shop where I once managed to spend $50 on 2 pieces of fudge and 2 lollipops. The weirdest part about living in Monterey is how normal all this starts to feel after a while. You walk your dog in front of a building that decided the fate of an entire state. You take your kids to school just a few blocks from where cannon fire landed in from the bay. You grab coffee, you go to work, you stress out about your life inside of a place that has layers of history that most people would lock behind velvet ropes. And that's what I like most about this. Monterey isn't trying to impress you, it's not chasing trends, it's comfortable being exactly what it is, a working town, a coastal community, and a place where people get to build real lives and call it home. So a formal introduction, my name is Jordan Horn. I'm a local realtor here in Monterey with Above and Beyond Real Estate, which basically means it's my job to help you not just visit history, but live here. So if you're curious about making that leap, I'd love to help you make your new home a part of the story. Or maybe you've watched this as a local and you think to yourself, man, I hate this place, I gotta get out of here. Luckily for you, I specialize in selling houses too. So Monterey's story is a bit like the ocean itself. It comes in waves. Spanish explorers, a Mexican capital, a US takeover, a sardine boom that lifted the town up and then nearly wiped it out. Eventually, it settled into what you see today, one of the most desirable coastal communities to call home. So thank you so much for watching this very first special episode of Keys to Monterey, where we unlocked the untold story of Monterey. I'm Jordan Horn with Above and Beyond Real Estate, and I hope you join me in the next episode of Keys to Monterey.